Hello, everyone. My name is Gil, and this is Deeper Than You Think. In this channel, we'll be covering a lot of topics, including from marriage, relationship advice, current events, and just overall viral content on the internet. Now, for today's video, I'm going to be giving my opinion on a woman who regretted getting divorced from a man after 11 years of marriage. Now, to be fair, this is the second time I'm recording this video because the very first one, the sound wasn't so great. So here we go again.
Y'all, imagine being married, asking for a divorce for a specific reason, and then regretting that shit later. Okay, so there was this woman on TikTok who made a video about her friend. So her and her friend went out recently, and her friend was married for 11 years to a man that she thought they were going to be together forever and ever and ever because they were just a super cute couple. They had a really good dynamic, and they got along really well and never had crazy issues, right? So but she's now divorced and has been divorced for 3 years. And so she asks her, like, oh, like, why did you end up, getting divorced? And she said, well,
Let me guess. She got a divorce because she was bored in the marriage. Now, again, I'm recording this again, so I already heard it, but that was the guess I made the very first time I made this video, and I was correct. She was bored in the marriage. Let's just be honest. Women initiate, unfortunately, 80% of the divorces in the United States. I don't know what the stats are around the planet, but we're talking strictly America, and that's just the sad reality of the situation in America. Um, and most of the times is because women have this warped perception of what a marriage and a relationship should be. And what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is, um, I believe social media has destroyed both women and men's, but a lot of women's perception of what reality is. They're so used to seeing celebrities and famous people or just influencers who are living this lifestyle, all their friends showing just the happy pictures of them vacationing all the time. And when they see stuff like that, they think that they should be living that kind of lifestyle too. And so when they see that they're not living that kind of lifestyle, whether that be because their husband is working or they're both working or they just don't have that kind of money due to other reasons, they get sad, they get upset, they get lonely, and they want to leave a perfectly fine relationship just because they want more. They want the fun, they want the thrill, and they feel like they're not getting in their relationship. And what oftentimes ends up happening is that they end up regretting the breakup, as we'll see later on in this video. But let's go ahead and keep going.
I am the one who asked for the divorce because I got bored. She said the relationship got really boring. She was a stay-at-home mom. All he did was work, 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 and they were well off. So this guy is putting in a lot of hours and a lot of
Imagine being this guy. Imagine being the guy who can make enough money, who is making enough money to have your wife be a stay-at-home mom, and because you're working so much to provide that lifestyle for your wife, she feels like it's not enough and decides that she's just going to leave you for greener pastures. I feel like a lot of women make these decisions, these I'm bored, let me get a divorce decisions, without ever thinking about the future repercussions. Is what they feel in that moment, and that's what they want to do, and oftentimes they end up regretting it. They always look at the other side, the grass is always greener. Yeah, the grass is always greener, but the grass is a little too tall. You can't actually see what's on the bottom of the grass. You don't know how many snakes are rolling around that grass. You don't know how many bugs are rolling around that grass that could potentially harm you. And those are the things that women don't think about. They think about, how do I feel in this moment? And is this worth me leaving my perfectly fine relationship over? And 80% of the time, they say yes. It is worth leaving a perfectly good and happy relationship over being bored. Not even unhappy. There doesn't have to be any infidelity going on. There doesn't have to be any abuse of any sort going on. Just they're bored, and that's all it takes a lot of times to ruin a perfectly good marriage.
Yeah, work time, so that way they can live the comfortable life they were living. Okay, he paying all the bills. So she said she got bored always being home, taking care of the kids, and not really having them time or doing like spontaneous fun stuff. Well, she would tell him about it, and he would try to take her out and try to do stuff, but it just felt like it wasn't enough, and it wasn't the same for her that, like it used to be when you're in a fresh relationship. Well, duh, bitch, it's been 11 years.
Right. So it's been 11 years, and there's this concept or phenomenon. I can't quite remember the name of it, but what happens in a relationship is that the beginning stages are lust stages. You want that person. You want physical attention. You want that physical touch. You are physically attracted to that person. You want to be connected to that person. As the longer you're together, that love evolves into something else. Like I said, I can't quite remember the name of it, but it's more of a comfort love rather than a lust love. And so it evolves into something different, and it'll never be the same. It'll never be the same like it was that first time. And a lot of the times, what happens is these women end up leaving their marriages to go look for the fun guy, to go look for the guy that brings them that thrill again, not realizing that that too is going to pass. Eventually, they're going to get bored and they're going to want to settle down again. Well, guess what? You lost your husband, and that guy you're having fun with doesn't actually want anything serious with you, because he got with you because you were looking for fun. And that's exactly what he was looking for. Let's continue.
Spice it up. You do something. Anyway, so she asked for a divorce. He gave it to her, and she's been dating for these past 3 years. And so she asks her, how's it been? How's the dating life been? Okay.
Miserable.
And she tells her, honestly, it's been trash. It was fun at first, but now it's not fun because I'm looking for something serious now, and no guys want to take shit serious. All they want to do is have fun, right? Club.
I mean, that's what you told him from the get. That's what you wanted. You wanted to have fun. He just wants to continue to have fun, and he's going to have the fun with or without you. And a lot of the times, yeah, you have your fun, and maybe you've had the conversations with some of these guys, whether you want to settle down eventually and you want a family again, or if you want to have more kids. And a lot of guys just aren't willing to date somebody that has kids. They're just not. And then the ones that are, I mean, they'll do it, but a lot of the times those guys are also going to want kids of their own, whether they have them in another relationship or not. And oftentimes, women who already have kids don't want anymore. They just don't. They already have what they have, and they want to keep it that way. And it just becomes a complicated mess. And so they walk out of a perfectly good marriage, destroy the relationship, do all this stuff just for some brief fun. And now that the fun is over, no man actually wants you. And that's the sad reality. I don't like comparing men and women to like the whole age like wine and age like milk. But let's just be quite honest. And this is not red pill stuff, but this is just the reality of the situation. As men get older, they usually become more attractive to women, and not looks wise, but because of status, because of money, because of wealth. A lot of women are willing to date an older guy who's already established and has a lot of money. For a woman, it's not the same. Guys do not look for the same thing in women that women look for in guys. And so, as a woman gets older, she becomes less and less attractive to men that are out there looking to date, especially if she has kids. Now, there was this study done by OkCupid a few years ago, so don't shoot the messenger. I'm just giving you the findings of the study. But this study found that most men in all age brackets, right? Not just young men, but most men in all age brackets prefer a 20 22-year-old woman. That's insane. But that's just the reality of it. So imagine being a 35-year-old woman, and I don't know this lady's age. I'm just making up a number. Imagine a 35-year-old woman who's got kids and is now having to compete with a 22-year-old woman who has no kids. And if the man has a choice, who do you think he's going to go with 90% of the time? I don't want to say a man wouldn't go for an older woman, but most of the time a man is going to go for that woman. So the older a woman gets, the less attractive she becomes to a man. And again, this is not me being misogynist, it's just the reality of the situation. But the inverse happens for men. The older they get, the more money they accumulate, the more attractive they become to a woman. Not necessarily over looks, but over provision, whatever the man can provide for the woman. And that's just the sad reality. So a lot of these women end up ruining perfectly fine marriages for fun. Then they want to settle down again and realize that, oh shit, it's not what I thought it was going to be. I'm single, I'm lonely, and no man actually men want to have fun with me. Men want to take me to bed, but they don't actually want to form anything serious with me. And why would they? Because let's be honest, even if a man was willing to date a woman that came with kids and was previously married for 11 years, if he finds out, if that woman told him how her last relationship ended, he's going to automatically think, oh shit, red flags. How do I know that if she was willing to leave her man, her husband of 11 years that was providing everything for her, how do I know she won't do the same to me down the line? And so you're screwed either way. But let's go ahead and continue.
Bar, let's go out, let's do this, let's travel, let's do that. It's always go, 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 go. And that is what she wanted in the beginning, but that's not what she wants now, 3 years later, right? So now she's like, I want to get serious with someone, and I want someone to help me with my kids and help me, and I don't fucking know. She wanted to be a stay-at-home mom again, okay? What she wanted was her old life that she chose to give up for some fun, temporary fun at that, right? So she left this good-ass man for bullshit just to regret it. And he has been now in a relationship for 2 years of the 3 years they've been divorced. So a year he took to himself, then he found someone, and he's been with that person for 2 years. She is now moved in. She is now living the life that this woman once was living. And she herself has 2 kids, so he's helping her with her kids and his kids. And she's kind of like offended by that. Shorty, you gave him up. He got every right to be.
Yeah, she's offended. You know why she's offended? She's offended because she can no longer have that life that man was providing for her. I guarantee you that her walking out of that relationship, the thought in her head was that she was going to have everything she ever wanted, and that her soon-to-be ex-husband at the time, who is now her ex-husband, wasn't going to be able to find someone like her ever. Well, as it turns out, as we see from this story, it's the inverse. He was able to find someone and is now living the life that he had been living before, that he was providing for his ex-wife, and she's the one that's single with no prospect in sight. And so deep down, that hurts that woman. That hurts her. It bothers her to know that everything she thought she was going to have walking out of that marriage turned out to be a lie. And it turned out to be the inverse of what she thought it was going to be.
Happy. And he was a good one, because somebody cuffed him up real fucking quick and knew how to keep him. So all I gotta say is, if you got a good man, keep him. Keep him. Be bored, bitch. Figure it out.
And I 100% agree with her. I 100% agree with her. If you got a good man, keep him. Don't let social media dictate your life. Social media isn't real. A lot of people on social media pretend to live these lifestyles that they don't actually live. They don't live like that. A lot of these people go into debt to portray a lifestyle that they don't actually live. That's why you see a lot of influencers now more than ever getting arrested left and right for fraud, for scamming, for doing all this stuff, because they need to be able to do whatever it is that they need to do to keep portraying a lifestyle that they can't actually afford. That's why you'll see a lot of influencers also take pictures in fake private jets, have all these bags. You know that you can rent expensive bags, right? You don't actually have to own them. You can rent an expensive bag for maybe a couple of $100s for a day, do a photo shoot, and pretend like you actually live that lifestyle. You're looking at people posting the best side of them. You never see them actually post what's going on behind the scenes. And so, for any woman that's listening out there, don't let social media fool you into thinking that these people are living lifestyles that are better than yours. Sometimes these people are living way worse and just pretending so they can look good online. Anyways, that's it. That's all I got for this video. Thank you guys for watching. I will be posting one video every day for the remainder of this year, and we're going to talk about everything. Thank you for watching my very first video, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.